before started, I have to give some information about Time Lords. Maybe some of our audiences are familiar with Time Lords, some of them are not. What is a Time Lord actually? Time Lord is a planet which governs your life or some area of life for a specific amount of time. And sometimes in field area, it is a planet, but sometimes in another predictive technique, let's say Profections, it is another planet. Actually, it is a good idea to combine some predictive techniques and to work them together. Let's say I'm working with Profections, field areas, and solar returns as well. So the ancient astrologers were working with transits, for example, which we are very much using in modern astrology, but they were looking at the transits at last, just after studying on the Time Lords in some other predictive techniques, for example, in field areas, in Profections, in solar returns, or they were using, let's say, directing by turns. So one of the Time Lord system is Profections. And Profections were used by Hellenistic astrologers and also Persian astrologers. One of the oldest predictive system in astrology. Let's say Vettius Valens, Marcus Manilius, Claudius Ptolemy, Firmicus Maternus studied with Profections, and after that, some Persian astrologers, one of the most popular one, Abu Mashar, for example, studied with Profections, or Abu Ali al-Hayat studied with Profections, mashallah, as well. And in later years, Guido Bonatti, who was the writer of Liber Astronomia, the great Liber Astronomia, studied with Profections and worked with Profections. I learned these Profections deeply from great Robert Zoller, my teacher, actually. In his classes, he was suggesting to use Profections more than the other predictive techniques, which he finds very reliable, because everything is in your chart, and whatever the chart promises, it happens to you. So actually, when you are working with Profections, you don't need any other chart to work with. Only the Profections are enough for you within your chart. In your chart, you can direct anything. Actually, what Profection means, advance, to advance something in your chart. This can be the sun, this can be the moon, this can be the ascendant, this can be also part of fortune, let's say. And actually, from Bonatti's time, uh, this advancement was by sign. But in later years, some astrologers studied on this perfection by advancing the houses. So every year, one house turns, or you skip one house beginning from your birthday. So in Profections, what is the most important day to change the house, to skip the house, is your birthday, actually. And in this lecture, I will be focusing on perfecting the ascendant and the annual perfection of the ascendant, as you can see in the table below. When we were born, we are just 0 years of age. And this is the ascendant where we enter to life. This is just the beginning, a beginning point of the child. And this is the first house. So when skipping the house, when advancing the house using perfections, you start saying to first house 0. until the end of your first year, I mean first age, you are in the first house. So we will start saying 0 to the first house. And let's say I was born in 12 February 1966. And for my next age, I will begin 12 February 1967. So I will skip to my second house. This is full 1 year, and I skip the second house. And then I will skip the third house in the next year, and so on. Let's say I'm 52 at the moment, and to find out 52, we will count the houses. And as you see, we come to the fifth house. 52 is here. So this is my fifth house profection, and fifth house matters will be most important in my life during the whole 1 year, let's say. And this is also another table which shows you the houses on the left and the ages inside of it. Let's say, again, you can find out 52 in the mid of this table, and this is, as you see, the fifth house perfection.